and welcome to episode 77 of the Lonely Knitter podcast. My name is Laura. Welcome to my knit night. I feel like I can finally say that because I am actually recording at night tonight, and I am trying to do it whilst knitting 2x2 rib, and I'm only 5 stitches into this round and I've already messed it up. So if you haven't been here before, thank you so much for joining me. If you are new to this place, my name is Laura, and this is where I come to chat about all things crafty in my life. I am a yarn dyer, I make hand balm, I live here with my husband, my 4-year-old daughter, my 1-year-old son, and our very old cat. And yeah, there's a lot of craft in my life. I'm coming to you from the east coast of England, the most easterly town in England in the UK, and yeah, these are my ramblings basically. You can find me on Instagram as @thelonelyknitter, and other places below. I will put all the information, my website, my details below if you fancy checking me out. I'm not wearing any makeup and I have a giant spot on my face. I will just address the elephant in the room right at the beginning. This is actually pretty good. This is like day 5 of this spot. It's calming down. I don't usually get ones like that, and I did feel a little bit of me was like, don't podcast, Laura. There's no way I'm gonna put makeup on, not at 9:30 at night anyway. There's no way I can film a whole podcast like this. Hi guys. So it's out there. I've looked rougher, I'm sure, on here. If you are a returning viewer, thanks so much for coming back and listening to the madness. Yeah, this is episode 77. I've said that already, but today is Wednesday, I want to say 11th of August. I guess the 11th, because this Friday is a Friday the 13th. So yeah, it is the 11th. Anyway, I am going to plough through because it is late, and I have been told by many people that short podcasts are good, rather than my old ones that used to last for over an hour. So hey, I'm fine with that. Okay, I have no finished objects this week. Massive failure. What? But I do have a hoe, half object, and it's something that I did not expect to have last week. I dyed a yarn last week that I really wanted to knit with, and this sock idea has sort of been in my head for a while, and it just happened. So it's only down that one side, and yeah, I am loving it. I'm not gonna lie. I know you shouldn't say that about your own thing. I'm not very modest, obviously. No, I really enjoyed this, and yeah, I was supposed to be, this is still on the blocker from last week, I was supposed to be working on the other one of my self-striping. This is my self-striping sock club, and this was the hoe from last week, and I thought I'll cast that on. That was my aim last week. I was definitely gonna cast it on, but then I just cast this on instead and knit another single sock. So now it's second sock syndrome is rife, you guys. Yeah, this is my own pattern. It's already written up and going into testing. It was a bit of a whirlwind week. It came out of my brain ridiculously fast and onto paper ridiculously fast, which never happens with me. I then got a bit of anxiety around it, but I had some lovely friends who convinced me to posted it online, and got a ton of love over on Instagram. Thank you so much. And it just encouraged me to go ahead with it. So this no name sock pattern, because I still don't have a name for it. I have about a million ideas in my head and I just can't settle on one. This will be the left foot, and so this will run down the front of the foot, but on the inside of, it's on the front but closest to the inside of your leg, and yeah, the other one will mirror it. And yeah, I have been dyeing up this yarn. This is the yarn in the skein, and this one probably will be available quite soon, but I've also dyed up a periwinkle and blue version, and this one doesn't want to go back on, a green version as well. So I just need to dye up some coordinating mini skeins. this is the one that I've dyed up to go with this one. And then when I launch the sock pattern, I will probably launch the yarn. Might launch the yarn a little bit beforehand so that people can get their yarn and then cast on when the pattern goes up. But yeah, that's coming soon. But yeah, that's what I've been working on this week. And this one, I didn't get as second sock syndrome-y as the stripy socks, because as soon as I finished it, I straight away wanted to test my pattern myself. Obviously it's getting tested, but I also like to just do it again myself, reading the instructions and trying to just do exactly what I've said and seeing if it makes sense to me as well as other people. And this one I am nearly finished with the rib. This has more rows of rib than normal for me. And this one has way less rows of rib, so I'm not doing anything normal at the moment. So yeah, second sock of this one is now on the needles. So that is my first whip of the week. The very start of the so far unnamed socks. I have, disclaimer, not brought this project bag out here with me, but I have done a few rows on my dotted rays by Stephen West. That's also out of my own hand-dyed yarn. I just haven't brought the bag out here with me, and I didn't realise until I sat down, and I'm out in the garage in my workspace. I call it the garage room because I wanted to call it the studio, but our entire family just ended up calling it the garage room. And we've converted the back of our garage into a office space, workspace for me, but it is just so full, it's unreal. Yeah, I was already out here in the garage, so I'll have to show you next time, but I've really only just done a couple of rows. I've also done a very small amount of work on my Rainbow Chronicles blanket, which is all yarn from Lay Family Yarn. And you'll be able to see it really is a little bit of work. Make sure my rude stitch marker is round backwards so you can't read the rude word. But I've basically done this row of shells and then started the next, like the foundations for the next row of shells. And I'm still just as in love with it as I have always been. I love it so much. Oh, I love it so much. So yeah, it's the Lay Family Yarn Rainbow Chronicles mini sets. I get the 5 20-gram mini sets each time as they come along. I've explained it before. They're all living in this basket along with a few bits of mine, but it's very messy in there at the moment. I need to tidy that up. I'm missing a couple of months from the middle of the year, but they are being repeated, so I think it'll be the next month or the month after that I will need to buy that month and the next month. So I'm just keeping an eye out for when that happens so that I can make sure I can do my rainbow properly. But yeah, there's been a little bit, very little bit of work on that, and that is it on what I've been working on, only because I have been working like a maniac. So I have a few things coming up. I have in just over a week, so a week and a bit, I have Fibre Block Party, which is an online yarn festival, and then the 10th and 11th, my brain's disappearing, of September, like that weekend of September, is Perth Festival of Yarn, which is in person in Scotland. I'm going all the way there on my own. And then the last full weekend of September, like the 26th, like that weekend, is Yarndale in Yorkshire, in-person festival. All again, I can't believe that all these things in person are happening. So I've got a very busy month coming up, and I need to make stock. So I've been dyeing, I've been trying to keep up with my clubs and keep everything ticking over as usual on my website. And yeah, it's all, I've just been working quite a bit more, so haven't had as much knitting time. Also in this past week, I have another new thing, another whip. It is a whip technically, I guess. I have a friend who has a spinning wheel that I wanted to try out. So my lovely friend Karen had messaged me because I'd put online that I would love to try an Ashford Kiwi spinning wheel. She had one and said she would lend it to me for a while. Absolute superhero of a woman. So I am now chronicling the adventures of Kiwi and me. I have not had a lot of time to spin because of work and children, and it is summer holidays. And is anyone else developing an eye twitch because it's summer holidays and they're always here? Obviously I have a 1-year-old who isn't in school at all, but those 3 days a week that my little girl was in nursery in term time, let's just say September will be welcomed. In September she will start full-time school. I can't believe she's old enough to be in full-time school. Yeah, the first year of full-time primary school, so I am very excited about that. She is very excited about that. It will be a big change. But yeah, I haven't done as much as I would like to do this week, but I did manage to fit in spinning half of a braid. This is about 50 grams of a braid that I have no idea what it is. It is something that's sat in my fibre stash for a while. So if I've not talked about it here before, I had a spinning wheel when I was about, I want to say 21. My parents bought me a drum carder and a spinning wheel for my birthday. I think it was like my 21st birthday or something like that. 20th or 21st. And maybe it was earlier than that, but the spinning wheel was an antique, but it did work. And it wasn't the best to spin on, but I did get yarn. I knit a pair of socks out of the yarn that I had knit. And bear in mind, this is like, what, 10, 11 years ago now. I loved it. I had no spinning friends at all. I had no knitting friends back then. So it was just a lot of fun. And I was also processing some fleece back then. So I was using the drum carder for that. I wish I hadn't got rid of them. I'd moved out. I'd moved in with Chris, who's now my husband. We bought our first home together and we lived in a little flat. And our first place was a little flat and we did not have a lot of extra space. And I wasn't spinning very much. And I definitely wasn't using my drum carder or processing any fleece. And I sold it. I worked in a bank, was miserable. I eventually quit the job in the bank and went and got the apprenticeship in a pharmacy, worked there up until last year when I went off on maternity leave with my son, which finished last November, and then didn't go back because all this happened. But yeah, I was sort of in a bit of a rut back then when I worked in the bank and I was miserable and I wasn't spinning and I certainly wasn't using the drum carder, and I sold them both online and not even for very much money because I just couldn't ever see myself using them again. And to be fair, the spinning wheel wasn't what I wanted, and an Ashford Kiwi would be perfect for what I want. But that drum carder, curse myself for getting rid of that drum carder. And it was a lovely big one as well. But they're long gone. I have had a nano, I can't remember what they're called, an e-spinner. I can't remember what the full name of them is, but it's basically a tiny little e-spinner. It cost about £120, all in from America. And my parents bought it for me for my 30th. It's about this big, and it can't get an awful lot on the bobbin because they're small bobbins, but it's not very powerful. You really have to feed it rather than it pulling anything from you. And I think I've broken the motor on it. I think I've burnt out the motor on it. So that stopped working the other week, and I put out this call basically saying, I want to spin, but I can't afford a spinning wheel right now. And does anyone know where you can rent one or anything like that? And then, yeah, my lovely friend Karen said, you can borrow mine. So I took the little trek over to, she was about an hour and 20 minutes away from me, little trek over to North Norfolk to borrow it. And yeah, this is what I have. Please do bear in mind that I have not spun on a proper wheel for, I would say, 10-11 years. So but it's like riding a bike. It just came back. It was so fun and so enjoyable. And bear in mind, I did all this around my children who were playing in the room at the time, so there was a lot of stop starting. This is about 50 grams of the fibre that I have, and it is I don't know if I can reach it because it is leaning on the spinning wheel, but it's just, yeah, this into this. And it's just been great to practice on and try and get back into, but I just haven't had a lot of time to work on it. So hopefully by the next time I see you, I might have had a little bit more time, but I can't guarantee it. But I am hoping to take the Kiwi with me to Perth. So I will hopefully get a little bit of downtime in the evenings, just crack it out in front of me and start spinning. Anyway, so that's all of my whips. Now, stash enhancement. Let's see, I've got two makers that I have bought from in the last week and a bit. And the first one is Lay Family Yarn. So Lay Family Yarn Rainbow Chronicles. So the blanket that I'm working on, the October installment came out. There was 2 different mini sets for October, because I think Kelly said that they died up the 2 and couldn't decide which one would be the official October one, so they put them both up. So I chose set number 1 because this one was giving me, it's got like a slight purpliness to it, and I just love that one. So yeah, this is my October set. So that is going straight into the basket with all the rest of the yarn. And yeah, it's the Rainbow Chronicles October set by Lay Family Yarn, the gorgeous Kelly, Nick, and now their daughter as well, but it's their family business. That's going in there. And the other person that I bought from, so my lovely friend Jess, who is Skein and the Stitch, has a new website. And when she launched her website, I was like, I need to go and have a look at this gorgeous new website. I had a look, and of course had to support my friend as well, and she makes gorgeous things. It wasn't just because I wanted to support her, it's because I was like, that's nice. The first thing I got, I think these are ice dyed. Might be wrong there. I'm sure they are, but my brain is absolute drivel at the moment. But it's a drawstring project bag, and it's got her logo stamped into it. This is where it's been folded, but it's got her logo stamped into it. So lovely. And yeah, the purple, I'm a purple lover. I just thought that was gorgeous. So that is what my socks will live in now. It's a bigger project bag. It's just a drawstring bag. It's not lined or anything. It's just but it's just really pretty. It's a bigger one, but I am going to bung that in there and have it in this one, even though it's a bit big, because it's just so nice. So now the socks have project bags. So I got this, and I also chose a mini skein set, and I thought I might make something for a friend of mine who is pregnant, or for my sister-in-law who is pregnant. I have a few pregnant people in my lives who are due towards the end of the year, and I have a couple of ideas. And this is the Wild Rose Sock Fade set, and it is 5 20-gram minis. And yeah, there we go. And it's very pretty, especially that one. Look at that, but with all of them together, very, very gorgeous. And I thought that would look really nice, potentially as a little vest, a baby vest, or I don't know, maybe not, maybe a cardi, part of a cardi, I don't know. I have not yet decided, but I just thought they were really sweet. They're really soft, and again, this is Skein and the Stitch, and it's the lovely Jess. She's Skein and the Stitch on Instagram. You can find all her stuff through there. Dyed in Yorkshire luxury yarn. And it's a 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, so normal sock yarn base, and 80 meters to each 20-gram mini. But yeah, so sweet. So Skein and the Stitch. And now that can go into stash. In fact, actually, I might keep that in the basket, because that's all of my stash enhancement, but I am going on a trip, and I need trip projects, and I am one of those people that will take way more projects than I could possibly need, just in case, because the anxiety that I might not have a project, that I might run out, is just too much to bear. Okay, so I'm going to tell you sort of what's going on in my life at the moment. So this is my life section, and then I'll talk a little bit about shop stuff and things that have been going on this week. If I'm losing you here because you don't care about my life and you don't care about shop stuff, that's totally fine. I totally get it. Thanks so much, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks. There's something going on next week. I'm going to talk about it in my life stuff. So this week, my children stayed over at my parents' on Friday night, and you know when you get a child-free night, I came out to the garage and played D&D, and Chris watched the telly on his own. It was not a romantic child-free night. Well, actually that was quite romantic for us, because both of us did something we absolutely loved. But yeah, he got to play on his PlayStation, I got to come out here and play Dungeons and Dragons with my friends. Yeah, it was just, parenting has been a little hard over the last week, and there has over the last few weeks, to be honest. My need to be alone for just a couple of hours has really been through the roof, and yeah, not happening. So having my parents, they came after Ellie's swimming lesson and picked her up from swimming. We said goodbye, and they took her with them and Alfie, obviously with them, and we got a night free and then a lay-in in the morning. What even is that anymore? It was lovely. So yeah, it was just really nice, really nice. And in the last week, not a lot. I got a couple of days work to book I had to book some family, my grandparents had to book them a PCR test today because COVID symptoms. Not been in their house in the last week because of it, so we're all fine. More than a week I haven't been in there. I hope it's not COVID. The dreaded COVID. There's a lot of over here. What's coming up tomorrow? We're in hospital for Ellie's peanut trial. So if you've not been here for a while, I have talked about this on and off. My little girl is part of the clinical trial because she has a peanut allergy and they're trying to desensitize her. So she gets a tiny bit of peanut every day. It's like a powder, every medication that's like peanut every day, and slowly they will wean her onto more and more, except she might be on a placebo or she might be on the real thing. We have no idea until we're unblinded later this year. And if it's not the real thing, we then start right from the beginning with the real thing. And if it is the real thing, then yay, we're done. And then she's just on that medication every day for the rest of her life until more trials are done to see whether or not it's lasts without continuing to take the medication. But yeah, I'd rather my daughter take a little bit of this powder every day, peanut like flour powder every day, than have the chance of having to have an EpiPen stuck into her because someone gave her a little tiny bit of peanut. So yeah, we're doing that tomorrow, and we're doing it a week early because next week we're not here. We're going to Scotland. I say we're not here. No one come rob my house. Someone will be here looking after my cat. We don't want to be upsetting my family members. But yeah, I'm going to Scotland to see Chris's granddad who lives up there, and we are going with some of Chris's family, and we're going to stop over in Newcastle on the way up. I've never done that before. We've always just ploughed through and driven the 9 whatever hours to get there, but we're going to stop on the way up in Newcastle, and I've never been to Newcastle, so that will be nice. And then we're going to stay in Edinburgh. I've never been to Edinburgh. And then we're going to stay in Inverness, and we're going to see if we can spot the Loch Ness monster. I'll have to film a little bit of footage and put it online for you guys. But yeah, wish me luck. We'll then be driving back the 10.5 hours from Inverness, all in one go on the Friday, and then it's 5 o'clock party. Words didn't come out then. 5 o'clock party on the Saturday. So I may look a little ragged, but it's the perfect time. They could have given me the Sunday, but it's actually the perfect time around childcare for the weekend for me to do the Saturday. So yeah. We're going to, wish me luck, because 10.5 hours in the car with regular stops, because we have to stop a lot for the children, especially because they shouldn't be in the car seat for that long. So we're going to leave really ridiculously early in the morning when they're still asleep. But yeah, with a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old, wish me luck. I am literally gathering as many activities as I can, and I've got these trays to put on their laps that can clip to around the car seats, so they can have drawing and have snacks on it, and it's got edges on the side. And I'm trying everything I can do. I'm going to be downloading 1 million episodes of The Lion Guard and Jake and the Neverland Pirates for Ellie, and Dougie and In the Night Garden for Alfie, to try and anything to stop screaming in the car will be fine. Yeah, so that'll be nice. It's the first holiday we've had since before COVID, and we were meant to be going for 2 weeks in Florida, so it's fine really, because I can't afford it at the moment. We didn't end up in the best in the situation we thought we were going to end up in, so it's been postponed till next year, so that's another year of savings. That's fine with me. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie, a little bit salty about not having 2 weeks in Florida, which would have been completely Disney orientated, which is my kind of heaven. I know it's not other people's kind of heaven, it's my kind of heaven. Yeah, so I'm not going to have a podcast next week because I won't be here, but hopefully I will get lots of knitting done in the car. hopefully. I don't want to jinx it. There is no wood in here for me to touch. Yes, there is. Touch wood. I'm hoping I'll get lots of knitting done in the car. Otherwise, I have a crick in my neck where I'm just been turned around in the car the whole time going, don't hit your brother. Don't throw your drink. Keep your snacks on your tray. So yeah, hopefully it's not as bad as all that. Anyway, that's pretty much it for what's going on in the life of Laura. Oh, though my husband, Chris, got his second jab today, which is nice. I had mine ages ago. But yeah, we are now, all the adults of this household are completely vaccinated up. Hopefully no COVID over here. Come on for the herd immunity. Anyway, next thing I'm going to show you is just a little bit of shop stuff. So I'm now going to show you the Schitt's Creek mini skein set that I made up for the Scrappy Club for July. July was Schitt's Creek. I run a Scrappy Club every month. And the way it works, so September is open right now. And from August 5th through to September 5th, the listing is open unless they sell out. There is an amount of how many I can sell, and I can't go over that because just I need to schedule everything in. So if they sell out first, they sell out first. But I run a 5 gram, 10 gram or 20 gram amount. You get 10 colorways, each 5 grams, each 10 grams or each 20 grams depending on which one you choose. All dyed with quotes, characters, scenes, locations, anything from the show, like inspired by basically. And you get a coordinating stitch marker. So if you ordered the Schitt's Creek Club, I think you should probably have it now, unless you are in America and your post is a bit slow. If it is, I won't describe these colours. I'm going to tell you to look away and I will tell you when to look back. But I am going to I'm going to tell you the names of them. So you might want to just skip ahead like 5 minutes if you haven't received them yet. Or cut off now and watch the rest of this once you've received your parcel. But I think most people should have them by now. It's been well over a week since I posted them because it was back in July. So yeah, I'm going to show you these now. So look away if you haven't got them and you don't want to see or anything like that. Or if you fancy having them, there is a couple of spares in the shop. So I always try and dye a couple of spares if I can. And there is a couple of spares for Schitt's Creek. I think it's a 5 gram set and a 20 gram set left. There was a 5, a 10 and a 20. I think the 10 went. But every month, the 5 gram sets, you get 50 grams worth of yarn. They're all individually labelled. The 5 gram set costs just £12 and it can go as a large letter. So the post is like £1.90. So yeah, for less than £14 you can join in. And then the 10 gram set where you get 10 of each colourway is £20, and the 20 gram set, so you get 200 grams worth of yarn, is £35. Yeah. And all orders from my website of £30 or more before postage do get a free small crafted band along with them. Okay, so I'm going to start going through. So this is Johnny Rose. And this is the 5 gram set that I kept for myself. I do try and keep myself a 5 gram set every month. At some point, I hope to put it into a giant scrappy crochet blanket, but we shall see. We shall see. Some of them have already gone into my Battenberg blanket. So that's fine. That's crochet. This one is a little bit Alexis. And again, I'm not going to talk through the colourways just in case anyone is just not watching. This is Jocelyn Shit. This one's one of my favourites. This is Stevie Bud. Sorry for my awful nails. I've been dyeing and playing in the garden with my children today. This one is Ted or Pup Talk, because I couldn't decide whether or not I wanted to use his quote or his his name. So Ted, Pup Talk. This one is Twyla's Smoothies. This one is Roland Shit. And this one is Patrick, Simply the Best. And that's the name of it. I didn't just call it Simply the Best because I'm really conceited. It's called Patrick, Simply the Best. This one is Moira Rose. And then this last one that is 10, isn't it? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10 is, of course, Ew, David. Ew, David. That's my David inspired colourway. So yeah, here it all is, all together. And they come nicely in a cellophane package all laid out. And they also come with a coordinating stitch marker, which I don't have one of over here, but it was a golden rose for this month because of the rose family. So yeah, those are mine. I'll put them over there. And then otherwise, a lot of these colourways just here are new. This one is the one that I used on my socks. None of these are in the website, on the website at the moment. Most of them will be going, most of my new colourways will be going live. This one is a Dawson's Creek one because I've been watching a bit of Dawson's Creek this week. But most of those will go live on the Friday night, next Friday night. So that'll be the 20th, just before Fibre Block Party, in time for Fibre Block Party. These ones may come up, these 3 may come up a little bit earlier, depending on what I'm thinking with that sock pattern, depending on what people want, basically. And something else I've been dyeing, this isn't all of it, but there has been some self-striping dyeing going on. This one's a 4-colour self-stripe. These will not be coming to Fibre Block Party. These ones will be coming for the first time to Perth Festival of Yarn. They take a lot of time. I can't make tons of them, so the ones that I can make will be stacked up on my grid wall ready for Perth. So excited. But I have wound myself, I've dyed myself a few 20-gram minis with them so that I can make a few little samples so people can see what they look like knit up at the show. And those little, I've got at least a couple of those that I'm going to be knitting on my Scotland road trip. I am going to try and plough through some of those. So I think that's everything. Can't think of anything else. Oh, if you ordered the August Scrappy Club of the Month, August month's Scrappy Club, that will be with you very shortly. I'm finishing packaging it up now. You know, I close the listing on the 5th of each month and then have until the end of the month to post them out, but because I'm going away next week and then there's going to be full-on prep for Perth, I am having to do a lot of work for Advents. It's just, any moment that is child-free is non-stop. So I wanted to get those out nice and early, so those will be out and in the post before the Scotland trip. And I will also be putting up a couple of spares of The Walking Dead as well, because I have just dyed up a couple of spare sets for that as well. So yeah, I think that's everything that I was going to chat to you about this week, and I won't see you next week because I'll be away, but it'll be the week after. And you never know, maybe this like giant whatever growing on my face will have gone away by then, hopefully. Though I feel like I've got another one starting over here. There, it's a good thing I'm finished with the podcast, because otherwise the rest of it would be done like this. Anyway, if you are a maker in the UK and you would love to exhibit at an amazing new yarn show, I am one of the organisers for East Anglia Yarn Festival, and we opened our vendor applications the other week, and oh my gosh, I'm so excited I could burst. We have had some amazing applicants, and we've had tons of amazing applicants. I'm totally overwhelmed, absolutely overwhelmed, but this is very much a go big or go home show, and we are going big. So we've got a lot of plans. We really want EAYF to be amazing. It is next March, and yeah, it should be fabulous. So if you want to be involved, if it's the sort of thing you think that you would like to vend at, please do have a look on the East Anglia Yarn Festival Instagram, because the link to fill out the form to sign up is on there. I'm gonna go because I'm knackered, it's late, and I'm fed up of looking at my face. And that's all I'm doing, looking at me. Yeah, so if you have sat through all of my blabbering this week, thank you so much, and thank you as always for making me so much less of a lonely knitter.